I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I have a guest today. If you all know that we are in an election year, and I have State Senator Dave Wallace, who is joining me today, and he will be speaking with you all to speak to you all as to why he should be returned back to the state capitol. Okay. And so we're going to allow Mr. Wallace, Senator Wallace, to go ahead and speak to you all today. How you doing, Senator Wallace?
Tony, I'm doing really good. It's good to be on your show, and it's good to be talking to all of my friends out there.
Glad to have you. As I indicated, I run into various people who ask me, say, Tony, what is a bill? How is a bill? How does it become law? I mean, what do they do down there at that state capitol? And so, why don't you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been state legislator, and then you can pretty much educate us on how a bill become law.
Sure. Tony, as you know, I'm a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. I
Mhm.
flew attack helicopters, Cobras in the Vietnam War. Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel. I have been our state senator or our state representative for our area for nearly 10 years.
All right.
Uh, and during that time, I made myself a promise when I took over this office
Uh huh.
that I would return every phone call, that I would return every text message, every email, every Facebook post. And Tony, with rare exception, I have done that. The
Hmm.
reason I ran for office was I was on the city council in Leachville, and my current representative wouldn't do that. My current state senator wouldn't do that. So
Hmm.
I ran against them, beat both of them, and I try real hard. By the end of every day, I will have returned every phone call that folks have made to me. I believe that's very important.
Well, all right.
The the way a bill is written um, is a representative or a senator will have an ideal, and
Hmm.
I get a lot of my ideals and a lot of my bills from the folks of our district. I listen to our folks in Mississippi County and Poinsett and Craighead, and I hear what's important to them, and then I shape that in form of a bill.
Uh huh.
There's an organization called BLR, which is about 100 attorneys. We give our ideal to these attorneys. They help us shape the bill so that it's legal.
Hmm.
And then I will take that bill and I will present it in a committee.
Hmm.
And in the Senate, the committee is 8 fellow senators. And it takes 5 to pass a bill.
Hmm.
Once they pass that bill, then it goes in front of the full Senate of 35. So I'm on the floor presenting, and 34 of my peers are listening to me. And once that passes, then it goes to the House.
Hmm.
The process is repeated. I go down to the House, I present my bill to 20 representatives. The House committee consists of 20 members, the Senate consists of 8.
Hmm.
When it passes the House, then it goes to the floor of the House, and there a representative, usually a Representative Joey Carr or Representative John Milligan, Representative Johnny Rye, will present that bill on my behalf. If that passes, it goes to the governor for the signature. The governor has 6 days to sign a bill. Uh, 95% of the time, they will sign it. If she doesn't sign it, the bill will still pass into law unless the governor vetoes the bill.
Okay.
So that's just a snapshot of how we do it. For example, uh, 4 years ago, I presented a bill that we now have a statue of Daisy Gaston Bates
Hmm.
in Washington D.C. in the Hall of Statues. She's representing, along with Johnny Cash, representing Arkansas. Each state has 2 statues.
Hmm.
Ours is Daisy Gaston Bates, from civil rights fame, and Johnny Cash.
Okay.
And that's
Well,
one of more than 100 bills that I have passed since I've been
okay.
in Little Rock.
So, so when does a session begin and when does it end?
There's two sessions. The session when we write bills and when we present bills is on the odd year. We just finished up spring of 23,
Hmm.
and we will start the spring of 25 in January of 2025.
Okay.
We are getting ready to go into a fiscal session, and that's when we look at our budget and we make our budget for the following 2 years. That's going to start about the second week, I think the 11th of April this year.
Okay.
In addition, there are special sessions that we can be called into.
Mhm.
Those are not routine sessions.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. I've been somewhat peeping on your campaign page. I did peep on your opponent, opposition that is, peeped on
Yeah.
his page, and I did see some things. He mentioned, look like, well, do we have a phone going or anything? Cell phone? I heard a little feedback.
Um,
Do you have, oh,
I'm talking on my cell phone. That's the only one
okay,
I've got on.
maybe it's another one then. But anyway, but he made some I wouldn't call it allegation, but he did bring up a few things. He mentioned 7,500 people have left at Mississippi County. He mentioned a few other things about the high crime. I'm reading now. High crime rate. We have the largest construction project in history of the state, and there were no appropriations of foresight with respect to roads or infrastructure. He mentioned the Learns Act. It was passed it without any local input from the district. We have the second lowest health literacy in the nation. Um, Mississippi County has a life expectancy 9 years below the national average. Quality of life opportunities have been ignored. And last one, water quality in District 19 is one of the lowest in the nation. And so those were, I guess he called his 8 facts to remember. Um, I mean, of these 8 things that he mentioned, um, is there anything, I wouldn't say truth, or maybe you can put a spin on it. Is there any truth to any of this?
Well, here's some truth. Um, in 1940, Mississippi County had the second most populated county in the state, only
Uh huh.
behind Pulaski County, 80,000 people. We have steadily gone down since then.
All right.
Wagner, my opponent, wants to place all that blame on me, going back from 1940 all the way through.
Okay.
88, we did have 8,800 people leave, but that was not my fault. That's folks leaving because they're either seeking better jobs or seeking better opportunity or leaving because of schools or for whatever reason. And there's things that we have to continue to work on to change. Those are things that I have inherited, as have the legislators before me.
Uh huh.
And that's not something that you turn around. That it took us decades to get there.
Hmm.
It took us decades to drop from 80,000 people to just a little bit under 40,000 people. It's going to take time for us to climb out of that. But what he's doing is he's just throwing out allegations. One of his best allegations, or most favorite, is he wants to talk about duck hunting.
Duck
He's made
hunting.
duck hunting, yeah, he makes duck hunting sound like it's a national crisis.
I mean,
He
what
wants,
is the? How is that helping? Uh, people with real, as they say, kitchen table issues. I mean,
yeah.
how does duck hunting become
It,
an issue? I mean,
he's made it an issue because he is catering to the rich people in Wilson, Arkansas, and to the rich people throughout our district. I'm
okay.
going to tell you, duck hunting is probably a wonderful sport, but it pales in comparison to what we need to have done. Over the last 10 years, I have worked hard to take care of our single mothers, our children that are born with a single parent, to help them. Daily, I talk with DHS and I cut through red tape and help our newborns
Uh huh.
have health insurance so that they can have the proper care.
Hmm.
Now he wants to talk about duck hunting. I want to talk about helping our veterans. I want to talk about helping our disabled. I want to talk about working with our schools. I want to talk about helping those that need help. The rich man is going to take care of himself. Tony, I'm
Hmm.
going to tell you this, and I'm serious. A working man, a person that needs help, that votes for Wagner is like a chicken voting for Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh man.
He's not going to do a thing for them, and he will not. And
I mean, you coming pretty strong.
I have spent my career, and there's countless witnesses out there that will, I believe, speak on behalf, talking about how I've helped the poor, how I've helped the working man, how I've helped the single mom,
Mhm.
and that's my focus. It's not duck hunting.
Okay. As they always say, it's a whole lot easier to say attack a person who has a record. So if I had
Yeah,
to flip the coin and ask you, how would you say size him up in terms of his record in regards to um, let's just say uh, being involved, community wise? I mean, is he involved community wise? Does he have a political record? I mean, can you tell me anything about your opponent other than what I've read?
he's been involved the last 3 months. Before that, he hasn't. He's been on the school board, and
Okay,
the
school
school
board.
board, and listen to this. On that school board, he missed 1/3 of the meetings. So if he lives 10 or 20 miles away from where the district or the school board is meeting,
Mhm.
how's he going to? And he misses 1/3 of those. How's he going to be able to devote the time to do what I do in Little Rock,
Oh,
working
so
for
in
the
other
people?
words, you have to actually be present to vote.
There's a mechanism where you can uh, match with an opposing vote, but it's rarely done. So yes, the 95% of the time you should be present in order to
Mhm.
vote. You can't be not be there and vote.
Mhm.
So
And so,
so that go ahead.
and so you're saying perhaps he probably will have some type of attendance, poor attendance record in terms of being present.
Well,
To
here's what I know. If you want to know what a man is going to do for you in the future, you look and see what he's done for you in the past.
okay, well, let's talk about
What
that.
what I have done in the past is I show up, I vote, and I represent our people. I have been a
Mhm.
conduit from the people in Mississippi County, in Poinsett County, in Craighead County, to cut through the bureaucracy. When they call, I answer that phone.
Mhm.
We're talking a man who wants to replace me, that has missed 1/3 of the school board meetings that he was supposed to go to,
Mhm.
that has openly um, uh, belittled children that were poor.
Well, you definitely have to attend meetings. I guess to be somewhat of a factor in terms of bringing solutions or resolutions. That is to take care of whatever problem that the school district is facing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when you're talking about running for a stake office, I mean that's a whole bigger plate that really
And
is going to require a lot of attention.
yeah, and Tony, I have worked hard over the last 9+ years to create a good working relationship with my fellow senators and with my fellow state representatives.
Hmm.
I have a wonderful reputation. You can call my fellow senators, ask them about me, and they'll tell you. Look at my voting record. Look at how successful I have been in getting bills passed. I have, with rare exception, passed every bill that I carried to the floor of the Senate.
Well, I do know you. Not too long ago, I think you was working on some things, trying to help homeowners in Mississippi County become eligible for some funding to fix up their homes. You know, it could be anything as simple as trying to winterize the homes or
Yeah,
roofing jobs or whatever.
yeah.
So how did that go? Uh, did we actually put that money to good use? Because I know you went down and you really uh, advocated for that money, and you brought that money home to Mississippi County. Did we make good use of it? I guess what I'm asking.
That's one of my favorite programs, and I'm glad you asked that. For the past 6 years, I've been involved with that program. The program specifically is if you are over the age of either 60 or 62, I think 60,
Uh huh.
and you own your own home. And as a single person, if your income is under $1,200 a month, and Tony, we have a large portion of our population of elderly that fall in that category.
Hmm.
This is federal dollars. It's not state dollars. It's federal dollars. And I hate to use the term unlimited, but for our purposes, it is,
Okay.
because we don't have to create a budget for it. That's federal dollars that will come to the state of Arkansas. I have helped people with that personally. I have filled out the paperwork for them on that personally. Um, and I've helped others learn how to do that paperwork.
Hmm.
And it's slowly gaining ground. And there's individuals in Mississippi County and in Poinsett County that have taken advantage of that program, and we need to do more of that.
Hmm. Well, moving on here. Um, Now there are a lot of bills that done come out this year that started in January. One of the things that I was asked to ask you is that we understand that there is a bill that was passed there at the state legislature or state capitol, that is. I think it was called the Protection Act or something like that, to where it increased it, time in jail for certain offenses. But the one that actually I want to talk about is how well and prepared are the counties, you believe, to deal with what with might become a backlash when it comes to putting up 100% of a bond. It used to be, when I say 100%, I mean 100% of 10%. For example, if a bond is $10,000, 10% of that, okay, that's $1,000. Okay. In the past, there have been somewhat of pay plans. Put as little as $300-400 down and pay the bond out on time. But all that has stopped. Okay. So, do the state legislators have any idea of how prepared are our county jails when it comes to them somewhat uh, having a problem with capacity? Bringing inmates in, retaining them there at the county. Now, those who commit hard crimes, I can understand that. But there are people returning to uh, the county jail for, it could be something as simple as fines. In other cases where you have new inmates that come to the county. And so if the county run into a problem to where they don't have the resources to deal with, such backlog like that, or should I say a high number of inmates that they have taken in, how well is the state prepared to help counties?
Tony, great question. Uh, the state is going to help the counties and has started to help the counties in adding more capacity to handle that problem. We're not there yet. That's going
Mm-hmm.
to take time. I think it will take 3 to 4 years to be able to do that. Now, I personally am in favor of a man. If this is a nonviolent crime,
Uh-huh.
uh, let's take that person and do an ankle bracelet on him, and let's let that person go back to work. So we can still monitor where he is or she is, but hopefully turn that person back into a productive member of society. And let's save those uh, cells for the truly violent and the ones that are repeat offenders.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my view on that. I'm very proud of some bills that I wrote. I wrote 3 bills that deal with sexual predators. We have found that um, a person can sexually abuse a child,
Mm-hmm.
can be sentenced and put on a sexual predator list.
Uh-huh.
And in the past, that individual could go to an attorney and go to a court 3, 4 counties away, and could get
Mm-hmm.
off that sexual predators list without the victims even knowing that that person was applying. That person could be out walking in the streets, could be out walking right next to them. I presented and got a bill passed unanimously in the Senate and in the House that those individuals, when they apply to come off of the sexual predators list, the victims have to be notified, and the victims have to have the opportunity to testify against that person, to have their day in court. That's one of my favorite bills. Another one that I've done is I've enabled the victims uh, that have been sexually abused to
Mm-hmm.
be able to go back and file lawsuits and civil action against those individuals who preyed upon those children. A child who is sexually molested, as they grow, we have found that when they're young, they don't want to talk about this. But
Mm-hmm.
as they mature, when they get in their early 50s, it tends to come out. But in the old days, the statute of limitations said after 20 years, you
Mm-hmm.
can't sue. I wrote a bill that now allows you can be 99 years old, and if
Mm-hmm.
you were sexually abused, you can take that person who did that to you to court. And I'm trying to always protect the innocent.
Okay. Look like we have let me see. I can't read that writing. I don't have my glasses on. Is there any way that you can see that message, Senator Wallace?
No,
On the
I'm sorry.
screen there?
Now the screen I'm on is very small.
Okay, let me try to read it. This is a message from Mrs. Sheila Rump, say a comment, that is. Um, she said, yes, you have helped it a lot of people. I would be so happy to hear from you. I have some concerns, Senator Wallace. Let me go back. What else did she say? I'm learning how to work this thing. This is pretty much uh, a new streaming service. But she says she has some concerns, Senator Wallace. Thank you for your service. So that's Miss Sheila Rump thanking you for your service and
I
everything.
know Sheila well. She does a wonderful thing. She's a strong advocate for helping people and Belial. And Sheila,
Mhm.
I will reach out to you tomorrow. It's good to hear from you.
All right. And look like this is that's just Miss Karen Lomax. I guess she just tuning in, saying hi, everyone. And so that's basically what she's doing. Now, before we wrap this thing up, I want to give you an opportunity to speak about our hospital system. I think I saw you and Representative Carr posing in the paper there. I think it was, what was it, something like $3 million or so that you all brought home for the Blytheville Osceola hospital system.
Yes, sir. And I am very proud of that. Tony, that was a 6 month fight.
Okay.
Only 19 hospitals in the state of Arkansas got funded. I was able, with Joy Carr's help, to bring home $3.8 million to the
Mm-hmm.
Blytheville Hospital and $3.6 million to the Osceola Hospital, which will
Mm-hmm.
help improve those hospitals and keep our hospitals going in Osceola and in Blytheville.
Mm-hmm.
Though, if you don't have a hospital, you're not going to grow. And we have wonderful opportunity to grow in Mississippi County, but we have to have strong, vibrant hospitals. That may not be the complete answer yet, but it is one heck of a good answer, and it will do wonders for what the hospital board is trying to do. I'm very proud of that. Only one county, there's 75 counties in the state of Arkansas. Only
Uh-huh.
one county had two hospitals selected,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Mississippi County. That was
Now,
a hard fight that we won.
mhm, let me ask you this here. And again, I commend you and state representative for your efforts in bringing home that nice little chunk of change. Okay, but let me ask you this here. Um, where is the oversight? You know, when we have a tendency to get money in here like that, um, for some reason or another, that money either is not spent in a timely manner, or that money um, is somewhat, I don't know, there's a lot of foot dragging going on in terms of doing what need to be done as what was designated, you know, for the money to do. And so, uh, where's the oversight? Is there any oversight, you know, to watch dollars like this when they come in?
Tony, I mean, frank with you, I brought home the bacon.
Mhm.
It has to be cooked by the county. The hospital board has the oversight of that. The county has
Quorum court.
oversight of the hospital board. Quorum court, yes, sir. But specifically the hospital board, and I will tell you, I've talked with them, I've worked with them. I think they've got really good plans. There's been a changeover in the administration of our hospitals, and they are really looking forward to doing great things with that money. So I have high hopes that it will be done.
Okay. Well, we're getting down to the last crunch of the show here. Um, and I did wanted to bring up one other thing, and anything that you might want to speak about, Senator Wallace. I'll give you that opportunity before we close out. Okay. Um, I pretty much done talked about everything. As far as my notes, that is. Um, and so I pretty much getting ready to fold. I thought I had something else to talk about, but look like we done. At least myself, I done went through my notes there. And so again, I'm going to go to my board. Look like we got two other people that done tuned in with questions. So we're gonna go there for a minute. Um, we have Mrs. Rump again. She said, "Why fix or try to fix that is not broken? Go to the state of Arkansas page and look at and Representative Dave Wallace record and see if it don't speak for itself." And so I guess that's Miss Rump again. She giving you and Representative Carr, you know, your prompts, that is, in terms of looking out for Mississippi County. And so
Thank you.
guess
Thank you,
again
Mr.
being
Rump.
thankful. Uh, and so as I stated, uh, I want to turn this over to you, let you close it out. I mean, because you are um, uh, winding down. Tuesday would be the big day. And so, what is it in this last push that you are asking of voters, or is there anything that you feel that you need to remind voters of as to why uh, they should send you back to the steakhouse?
All my life, I've loved the Delta.
Mhm.
When I was in Vietnam, when I fought, I, I loved my hometown. I loved my county of Mississippi. I love our district. And I wanted to come back and help that. I'm at the point in my life where I'm trying to give back. I've had a good life. The Lord's been good to me. I want to give back. I want to help people. And I've done that, Tony. If you look at my record, if you talk with the many people out there,
Uh-huh.
I have helped thousands of people from Mississippi and Poinsett County and Craighead County over the last 9 years. The rich man is going to always take care of himself. I'm not
Mhm.
worried about the rich man. I'm not worried about the doctors that have donated so much money to my opponent, or the folks from Wilson, Arkansas that have donated so much money to my opponent.
Mhm.
I'm worried about the working man. I'm worried about the person that does not have the advantages that the rich man has. And I have worked hard to help those people, and I
Mhm.
will continue to do that. My
Well,
record speaks for itself.
and I will say that I think you and I have worked it over the years real good together. I mean, we have agreed and disagreed. I mean, but I will say, no matter the times that we disagree, we still able to come together and work on issues that we do agree on. And so I will say one of the things that I am really thankful of you is that when we entered this pandemic, just about everything that I called and asked you for, whether it was, uh, testing kits, money for the hospital in terms of them doing their testing, bringing in the mobile patrol, giving out shots, just about everything that I've asked of you, you really have addressed it. I will say that, and that's just speaking on the COVID issues. I'm sure, as you stated, there's
Yeah.
housing issues, school issues, and I'm pretty sure another thing was talking about is roads. Uh, I don't know if your opponent was speaking of county roads or city roads or what. But before I close out, I want to say this here though. There was a lady from Osceola, and I didn't even see his page until your opponent, Mr. Wagner. I did see on his page to where he had a whole tub. Someone sent him a photo of a whole tub of water that looked at for I just have to. It looked like urine. Pretty much. Uh, I'm pretty sure Senator Wallace will come back in. We lost him a little bit. Uh, Lost him for a second. I'm pretty sure he'll come back in. Um, but I'm gonna speak to you all. Hopefully, Senator Wallace can hear me and he'll come back in. Uh, but I want to say this here: if Senator Wallace is listening, don't have him on screen anymore. Um, but there is some issues that is going on as well down in Osceola. Um, I don't think it's the entire city, but they do have um, a water issue down there in terms of the water looking yellowish. Okay, and so hopefully the city of Osceola, city officials, the mayor, the council, hopefully they have corrected those issues in terms of the yellowish water, and so but we'll see. And so, and while he's coming on, I want to give out some uh, some announcements we have here in um, Blytheville, Arkansas. Let me pull him up. I want to pull up. Now where is that? Let me give me a minute, you all. But there is some things that's coming up. Mr. Stan, what's that? Dutton. That's the gentleman. I think he run the Ritz here in Blavel. He at least he is on that board. He wanted me to give out these announcements. It say this Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. I guess that's today. Gosno Elementary, 4 through 6th grade, will have a black light ARC show and will have the display up all of March. Okay, so you still have an opportunity to get by there to see this ARC display. Okay, uh, on March the 4th and the 6th. Okay, March the 4th and the 6th. The Panto Children Theater will do Beauty and the Beast for $10 for adults, and it'll be $5 for kids. Okay, um, and kids 12 and under start at 6 p.m. Okay, so again, that's $10 for adults, $5 for kids 12 and under, and it started at 6 p.m. March 9th, Nashville Blues Review at 7 o'clock p.m. Tickets are $20. You will have the Nashville Blue Review, uh, along with two of Nashville hottest blues bands, excuse me, for one night. Al Piper Green and the Hard Times, and Memphis and what's that, Misfits. And so govern yourself to those dates, things that are going on down at the Ritz, and you got an ARC display out in Gosnell, and so please get by and and look at some of the work that the kids are doing out there. Um, I'm still waiting on Senator Wallace to come back. Like I see him now. Like he done changed phones on me. Uh, there you go. Trying to work you in here. Let me get you over here. Uh, let me get you over here. Okay,
Now,
now I gotta bring myself back on. Okay, so we're back. Um, uh, I think I was wrapping it up for the last question that I had. I don't know how much you heard me, but I was uh I was speaking on some issues that is going on with the water system in Osceola, and also your opponent. I think he had a picture on his page where I don't know who sent it to him, but it was a whole tub filled with water where it looked real yellowish. Okay, um, and so do you have any idea of what is causing that? Not passing blame, but what do you think? Is it an infrastructure problem, or is it something that's going on with the water operator in terms of how they treating the water? I mean, or is it a combination of it both?
well, Tony, what's interesting is his brother sent that to him. And what's
Okay.
even more interesting is the mayor of the town of Manila called, and his people, the water department called other houses on that same street, and they didn't have an issue with that type of water. What was even more interesting is a sample was pulled out of the faucet of that house, and it was clear. But with that said, we do in parts of Mississippi County and Poinsett County have
Uh-huh.
an issue with that. It is infrastructure. And what
Okay.
we're going to have to do, um, that's an elephant that we've got to chew up one bite at a time. The
Uh-huh.
cities have to apply for the loans to fix that. And I think over time they'll have to fix 2 or 3 blocks at a time. I
Uh-huh.
don't think that there's money out there that to widespread go through and fix entire towns with the multitude of towns that we've got that have that issue.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
something we got into slowly, and frankly, and I was on the city council of Leachville for 8 years back in the '90s. We should have done a better job back in those days of slowly fixing our water lines and some of that has now come back to haunt us in our smaller towns.
Well, that's the thing that I asked is that I did read the report. I guess it came from the Department of Health from Little Rock, I guess, and they did indicate in the case of Osceola, that is, they did indicate that the water was somewhat safe to drink. Okay, but I'm just still I can't wrap my head around that. I mean, something that's supposed to be clear and yellowish, it let me know that, you know, I have to scratch my head to say I don't think I want to drink that water. I mean, uh, and
Oh, I
so
understand. Yeah,
uh,
I
and
understand.
so what do the um, is there any help uh, that can be given to these small communities such as Osceola and I don't know who is this person that send a photo to Mister Wagner.
There's low interest loans that are available that can
Yeah.
be helped, and that's the way the cities need to go. It's determine the priorities of each city and how the city council and the mayor wants to do it.
Okay.
But it has to bubble up from the cities. I have done several, more than several, probably dozens of letters of support,
Mm-hmm.
helping cities such as Caraway get a new water tank. That they had a bad water tank a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Many other cities have asked for similar things, uh, water lines and different areas. It's a matter of asking for the help and giving a good presenting a good case for why you qualify for the loans.
Okay. Well, we got two other questions here. I want to get those out of the way, and then I'll turn it over to you, Senator Wallace, for you to go ahead and close out the show. Okay. Uh, we have elected Mrs. Rump again. She say we know Representative Dave Wallace in this area. We only just heard about his opponent Wagner. Uh, and then she goes on to say, vote carefully and be wise. Mrs. Cannon, of course. Uh, I'm so glad that I am supporting Senator Wallace. So if you haven't voted, be sure to go on tomorrow, last day of early voting. But if you can't go tomorrow, you still have Tuesday, May 5th. And that would be election day, you all, May 5th. After May 5th is over. Okay? It's over. And so, Senator Wallace, with that being said, I'll turn it over to you for you to go ahead and close us out.
I'll make it real quick. Um, I have worked very hard supporting the working man
Uh-huh.
and those that need help in our county, in Mississippi County and Poinsett and Craighead. I have not catered to the rich.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that they're going to be able to take care of themselves. They usually do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have worked hard to take care of those that need help and need a hand up. And I'm going to continue to do that. And that's
Mm-hmm.
my focus.
Well, all right. Sounds good. And so, is there anything that I know you're saying in terms of, you know, what you're going to continue to do? Is there anything that you need to speak to the voters in regards to, uh, you know, because we at this last crunch time, as they call it. Uh, are there any people that are doing anything that may can get to some of those people who might not have the ability or say a ride to get to the polls? Is there anything that you have set up that can help them get
I,
to
I
the
will
polls?
I will tell you that, and here's my phone number. My phone number is
Okay.
870-919-8046. If you need a ride to the poll, we will get you a ride to the poll. And I would urge you all to vote tomorrow. We've got rain coming in Tuesday.
Hmm.
Tomorrow's the last day of really good weather, and it'll be the voting lines will be lighter tomorrow than they will be on Tuesday. That's always a hectic time. But if
I
you need a
wanna
ride, we'll get you one.
I wanna put your number in the comment there. What's your area code again?
870
Uh huh.
919
919
8046.
8046. Well, okay. And so I just put that, ladies and gentlemen, I have that in the comment section. Um, 870-919-8046. And so if you need a ride, please call that number and someone will get you to the polls. All right, Senator Wallace, is there anything else that you'd like to bring before this this live here or this broadcast?
Tony, I just want to say I have been honored the last going on 10 years. You all have allowed me to represent you. I've worked hard to do that, and I appreciate that you all have allowed me to do that. And I will work as hard going forward as I have in the past. Look at what I have done, look at my record, talk with those who I have helped, and don't listen to empty promises. It's easy to stand back and say, I'm going to do this, and this. But when you've got a person who's saying that and he's missed a third of his meetings for a school board,
I think
what's
I
he
heard you
going to do
say
for you?
talk is cheap.
Talk is cheap. Yeah,
All right.
that's
All
right.
right. Okay. Well,
Thank you, sir.
Senator Wallace, as always, is glad to have you to come on and hopefully we can be touching base on a few of these other issues. As I say, I'd like to talk to you more about Arkansas, taking care of Arkansas, and leave
Yes,
that
sir.
crazy stuff that's going on in Washington D.C.
Alone.
Leave the crazies alone, and I think that we need to take care of Arkansas.
I agree with you
All right.
100%.
So
Thank
that
you.
being said, I want to say enjoy the remainder of your day, and may God bless you and your family.
Thank you, sir. God bless.
Peace and love. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Senator Wallace speaking to us in terms of why you should cast your vote to give him another chance, using that opportunity to continue to fight for you on issues of your concern. Okay. I think Mrs. Cannon also put her information up on the screen. It say, "I am willing to take anyone if you can't reach Senator Dave Wallace number." Okay, and I think this may be her number, 870-623-2911. Okay. There's another message that simply say, let me pull it up. I'm trying to pull it up. Oh, there you go. It say, the work you have done speaks for itself. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's sending thank you to Senator Wallace. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new stream service here, and I'm trying to learn the features of it. When we had a little hiccups, if you will, trying to come up at 4. I thought it was on my end, but as I understand, Senator Wallace was on his laptop. But once he switched from his laptop to his um, cell phone, uh, the audio issues went away. Okay. So, don't know when I'll be coming up. I'm just doing this campaign thing here for those who wanted to speak. Senator Wallace, he did indicated that he was willing to come on, and to be fair, I did speak with someone in the campaign on the campaign team of Mr. Wagner, uh, uh, extending my platform for him as well. I think as much as probably 2 weeks ago, I had a talk with one of his campaign persons down in Osceola, and I told his campaign person that he more than welcome to come onto the platform. In fact, I sent out, uh, you know, uh, a statement, if you will, you know, stating to anyone that who was a candidate, if you wanted to use my platform, to hit me up. Okay, and I also sent Mr. Wagner, campaign person down in Osceola, I think just yesterday or the day before, stating that Mr. Wallace would be coming on. And I also gave them another opportunity to send me some type of response, whether or not they wanted to come on or not. As of today, I have not heard from Mr. Wagner, his team, his campaign. I have not heard from them. Uh, Also, the other race, we have judgeship, circuit judge. I've spoken to both of those candidates. Mr. Curtis Walker, who's a prosecuting attorney uh, here in Mississippi County, down on the north end. I've spoken with Mr. Wallace. Well, we texted each other quite a bit, uh, and I offer my platform to Mr. Wallace. Excuse me, Mr. Wallace, Mr. Walker, uh, prosecuting attorney Curtis Walker, to come on to the program. Um, he didn't say one way or the other. He did thank me for making the offer, but I have not heard from Mr. Walker in terms of a date. And I did speak with Mr. Curtis Walker opponent. Well, didn't speak with him. We texted each other. Also extended my platform to him. So when it's all said and done, the only someone that actually uh, not only was willing to come on, but did come on, was State Senator Dave Wallace. And so I just want to put that out there. I'm trying to be fair, not biased in any way. You know, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, if you want to come on to testify to get your message out to the voters, you had every opportunity to do so. So, with that being said, I'm getting ready to shut this thing down, and you all do call all the contact numbers that was given if you need a ride to go and cast your vote. Tuesday is the last day of voting. That is election day, D-Day. Tomorrow is the last day, I believe, of early voting. Okay? So please do get out to vote. All right? Please. And I'm looking over here on my message here to see if I have any other thing. I'm trying to see who is this here. Tony, you know, you are very appreciated for what you do. So thank you as well. That's Mrs. Linda Cannon, who's a big supporter when I served it as president of the NAACP for that little short run. Ain't nothing to brag about, but she did help me a lot. Okay, as well as Mrs. Rump, she helped me a lot. I mean, just about both of those ladies, just about anything I got going on, I can always count on those two ladies. All right, and I thank you ladies very much. Just don't know how much that you all have helped me during my short reign as president of the NAACP. Uh, so no show, no vote, missing in action. So no show, no vote, missing in action. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready to shut it down. So I hope you all took something from what Mr. State Senator Dave Wallace. I hope he said something today that uh, somewhat gave you another reason to go and cast your vote for him, or perhaps You might had intentions for voting on Wagner, but something was said today that made you change your mind. And so it's always good to listen to these candidates, to hear them, and more importantly, not just hear them, but watch what they do when they go to the steakhouse. Amen. So, with that being said, I want to say peace and love, and I will be sending out information. I'm still working on my building my show back up. As you can see, I don't have um, all the little glitters in my screen here. I'm still working on. I'm still working on building this thing up. All right. So with that being said, I don't have any music either. So uh, I'm just gonna just sign off quietly. So you all have a blessed remaining day. I'm gonna play my closeout theme, but I'm not gonna play the music. You just see the video because I'm trying to straighten out some uh, what do you call some claims, video claims, uh, to where they trying to distract me for the music that I play. And I've been playing it for 4 years. And so that's what I'm working on. And so until then, peace and love, and God bless.